Are you looking for the best 3D printers? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best 3D printers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Sovol SV06. The Sovol's SV06 made a lot of waves when it launched. The machine is a clone of the ever-popular original Prusa i3 series but for a fraction of the price. Where Prusa i3 machines can cost as much as $1,099, the SV06 offers similar hardware for just $209. That's not to say the systems are the same. Prusa's software and quality control are next level, but the SV06 manages to offer a similarly great experience for a very accessible price. Part of that experience is the SV06's auto-calibration routines that handle the mesh bed leveling of the 220 by 220 by 250 mm fixed bed, with an inductive sensor, and level the x-axis that rides on a dual-driven Z, eliminating some of the more tedious maintenance routines. It's not completely hands-off, though, something newer systems at this price point are starting to offer. The one thing to watch out for when considering the SV06 is its poor performance with flexible materials. The system's direct extruder with planetary gearing performs great with rigid filament, but we found flexibles tend to get caught up in the gearing and jam. But, given the all-metal hot end, you can still use more rigid high-temperature filaments than is typical for machines in its price range. During our review, we also found the SV06's TMC2209 stepper motors to be remarkably quiet, making for a tidy home printing solution. It's an excellent machine, suitable for enthusiasts looking for something hassle-free or for beginners who want to tap into the community experience of a popular system. Number 2. Creality Ender 3v3 SE. The Creality Ender 3v3 SE sets a new baseline for cheap 3D printing, blending a familiar form with a beginner-friendly fully automatic bed leveling and self-offsetting to give effortlessly perfect first layers. Its standard features run to a 220 by 220 by 250 mm build volume, with a Sprite dual-gear direct extruder feeding filament to a hot end that tops out at 260 degrees Celsius. Printing through the full height is served by dual Z-axis motors, ensuring stability throughout. In our time printing with the Ender 3v3 SE, we found it to be a little workhorse. While it lacks the flashier features and firmware of today's pricier machines, it runs Marlin firmware out of the box. It offers a fuss-free printing experience that's a clear evolution on similar machines from previous years. The removable magnetic print bed can be a bit fussy to return to position after a print, and there's no filament sensor, which is an odd omission these days, even at this price point. But all in all, a simple yet refined cheap 3D printer. Number 3. Cheetah X Plus 3. For its $600 price tag, the Cheetah X Plus 3 gives you a clipper-based machine with a fully enclosed 280 by 280 mm build area, the smallest on our mid-size filament 3D printer recommendations, granted, but still in the ballpark of 300 by 300 mm, where we feel mid-size begins in desktop 3D printing. It uses a Core XY motion system and input shaping, allowing it to print up to 600 mm per second in some situations. Speedy acceleration and a high-flow hot end let it put plastic down at a rate that's on pace with today's top speed-touting printers. The X Plus 3's party trick is an actively heated build chamber capable of heating to 65 degrees Celsius. Indeed, this printer is friendly to warp-happy materials, performing favorably against similar style printers that lack actively heated chambers in testing. A filament dry box is included as standard, mounting to the back of the printer and serving as the default and fiddly, but still removable, spool holding option. Compared to many modern enclosed-style printers, the X Plus requires some initial calibration, which is a bit old hat, but we found it to hold its offsets and, generally, it remained a hands-off experience throughout our printing. Overall, it's a handily complete package that doesn't disappoint for the price tag. It's not the prettiest printer, unless lots of plastic and an overinflated look are your thing, we don't judge. But it does put down plastic with speed and uniformity, which we absolutely rate it for. thanks to an ever-decreasing price tag, the Sovel SV06 Plus, our former top pick for mid-size filament 3D printers, is now our budget pick. For some $290, you get a sturdy, upgradable bed-slinging 3D printer that offers decent print quality from the get-go. TPU performance wasn't the best. We found the noodly filament tangled easily in the SV06 Plus planetary extruder, but the whole thing is easy enough to dismantle and return to functionality. Those with deeper pockets should look to the Cheetah X Max 3, basically a larger X Plus 3 with minor differences. The main thing to know is the build volume increase from the plus 280 by 280 mm build area to a roomier 320 by 320 mm. Everything else about the experience is the same and great. Near vanilla clipper with fluid built into the slicer, plus a heated, enclosed print chamber and fast, uniform prints following a partially manual calibration. As a larger machine, it carries a larger price tag, too, approximately $900 at the time of writing. Number 4. Mingda Magician Pro. There are hot new speed-oriented large-scale printers now, and while the Mingda Magician Pro isn't one of them, the pricing pressure from the newer machines means this former upgrade is terrific value right now. The Mingda Magician Pro comes with the comforts you'd expect of a pricier printer, including a direct extruder, a simple-to-use touchscreen interface, a full metal base plate, and an excellent 400 by 400 mm textured glass build surface complementing the 400 mm Z-axis. The large print bed retains heat well and gets suitably hot, even towards the extremes of the build volume, not a given at printers of this size. Mingda's textured glass worked well with larger prints, though we found in testing that a raft or brim was necessary more often than not for smaller prints. For a large 3D printer, the Magician Pro is remarkably quiet, which is a plus if you plan on running it in a domestic setting. Not so great is the omission of large bore nozzles in the box. If you're planning on printing large models, stepping up a nozzle size or two from the stock 0.4 mm nozzle provided is essential to cut print times down to a reasonable number of hours instead of days. Number 5. Toybox. Critics will point to its premium models and plus subscription as a negative, but much like the shows and movies your kids stream on the likes of Disney Plus or Netflix, Toybox's offering is not an unfamiliar reality of modern media consumption. On the plus side, there are no ads, and the curation here means everything you see is not only possible to print but nearly impossible to mess up. The Toybox takes the effort of finding or making 3D printable toys, for the most part, out of your hands. The purchase of the printer is enough to give you access to thousands of models and some basic in-app model creation from the get-go, but the 10,000 plus library can be expanded through purchasable extras and a monthly subscription. There is plenty here to keep inquisitive young minds going. Toybox's greatest success is in cutting the clutter of the process of 3D printing and making every toy a tap away from physical reality. The print quality is not great, not by a long shot, but having put all of the machines tested for our toy 3D printer guide in front of real, live, fidgety kids, they simply did not care how good the prints were or weren't. What mattered was that going from finding a model in the library to printing it on the Toybox's dinky print plate is an intuitive and fast process that can keep pace with young kids' shorter attention spans. For slightly older kids, or parents looking for a little more agency over the items they print without going full hog into the hobby of 3D printing, the AOC'd Xmaker offers a terrific blend of customizable prints and a more general 3D printing experience. Its app needs a bit of polish, but at its core, it offers a library of ready-to-print models and a suite of tools for kids to customize subsets of toys and props. At closer to $500, it's much pricier than the Toybox, but the printer is more capable. Alternatively, if you're looking for a capable printer to augment your kids' play and are willing to dip your toes into full 3D printing rather than the more walled-off, kid-friendly version outlined above, look to our top pick for beginners, the Bamboo Lab A1 Mini. It's fast, smart, and holds your hand. Furthermore, you can get the full experience of slicing your own models and configuring jobs to print or fire jobs directly to the machine from the companion app. It's close to the best of all worlds, although greater supervision would be required if using the browsing user-created 3D model websites. Number 6. Uniformation Geek2. The Uniformation Geek2 is a mid-sized printer with oodles of design touches to make using it a tidier and smoother experience than other low-cost resin 3D printers. It may not offer cutting-edge resolution like the Photon Mono M5S or Mars 4 Ultra featured elsewhere in this list. It's still an infinitesimal difference to the eye if you ask us, but it offers the luxury of a quick-release print plate and slide-out resin vat, plus a hinged lid for convenient access to the build chamber. The Geek2 also boasts a killer feature in its temperature-controlled heated resin vat. A crucial component of assured 3D printing success with resin is that the resin temperature is sitting pretty around 30 degrees Celsius. Prints can work below this, but it's one heck of a catalyst for reliable performance to have your resin warm. The Geek2 lets you select from one of 3 temperatures for your resin vat, and the printer will calculate in a heat-up period before your print commences. The entire system is automatic and baked into the printer's software, making it an effortless print success system. It produces fabulously crisp prints thanks to its mid-size 8K masking LCD, and, if your budget can stretch further, it can pair with complementary post-processing stations designed to fit the printer's build plate. You can, for example, take the plate straight out of the printer and lower it into a recess in the company's ultrasonic cleaner for efficient, hands-off cleaning. Handily, the Geek2 is supported by popular third-party slicers, including Voxeldance Tango, Lychee, and Chitabox Basic. The provided slicing software is based on Prusa Slicer, which gives excellent support structure generation, so you may well be comfortable sticking with that instead. A 12K LCD upgrade and Wi-Fi dongle for the Geek2 are due to be released soon, which will put the Geek2 head and shoulders above the rest. Number 7. Anycubic Photon Mono M5S. Anycubic Photon Mono M5S is a different breed of desktop resin printer, introducing print boosting smarts the likes of which we've only really seen in filament 3D printing over the last couple of years. Packing a print plate gantry-mounted sensor, the M5S can detect peel force, resin level, and the vat bottom to augment your printing experience. In testing, we didn't find it to be flawless. Few are. But that this system pulls off even half of what it does makes the M5S our preferred choice over all the other desktop 3D printers we've experienced lately. All of the above is in a compact frame, to boot. The Photon Mono M5S dimensions are barely any larger than the likes of the frozen Sonic Mini 8KS and Photon Mono 2, both machines we consider to be small 3D printers, yet it punches out with a 200 by 123 by 218 mm build volume. Print speed is a focus. The M5S comes with ACF film for its resin vat interface layer, allowing for quicker than typical layer changes. It also packs a 12K 10.1-inch masking LCD, which puts extremely small pixels at its disposal for superfine print resolution. It's as fine as you can get. Anycubic has gotten the Wi-Fi connectivity of the printer to sing, with a seamless link between the company's software and hardware. You can also keep tabs on things using the company's surprisingly slick mobile app, which gives you diagnostics of the printer, guides, and tips, plus a community aspect with models you can pipe to the print at the click of a button, all without bombarding you with adverts or notifications. It's a quick and compact printer with layers of features for its $400 price tag, certainly one to consider if you prioritize convenience.